a little more time to get started in this series. Again, winner qualifies for Riyadh and will face Semper tomorrow in the upper bracket finals. Loser goes down to face either Luminosity or Navi. We're underway now with game one.
And just to give everyone an update on that lower bracket first round, which is currently going on the B stream, Aogiri and Wolves Esports went to 5 games, and Wolves Esports ended up taking game 5, 2-1 in the 3v3. So Wolves, that's again Tadpole, Rezi, and Hyder end up winning that. They had a crazy 1v1 match in game 3 where Hyder beat Ocelon 8-7. So that was a very tight match. We saw Aogiri earlier today on this stream, and they will be eliminated. Wolves getting another try. So back to this with Solary and Guild. Guild feeling a little bit of pressure here early. A quick shot from Tho is forced own goal. Tho gets credit.
Tho opening it up. Oli will get the assist. CRR and Dorito expect that to be the duo when they square off later on. They're in the net, but not in the right spot. And in the first minute, it is Solary striking first. Then Oli looking for more off the kickoff. Double, he got up so quick for it. 2 goals, 4 seconds apart.
It's a good touch there from Oli. Mike Boy wins the kickoff cleanly. You see the wave landing from Oli to keep that speed going forward. He avoided the demo, used his wave landing to maintain speed on the recovery, and got the tap right off the back wall. That was an excellent progression there from Oli.
I want to go back to the update you were talking about earlier with the Aogiri match. They go 5 games with, what was it, Moisture BDS in the RLCS this weekend. And then they go 5 games with Solary today, 5 games with Wolves. They lost all of those matches that I talked about. And it's just, could you imagine a team having any worse luck? They could be legitimately in this match right here, taking on Guild, and instead, well, they just have to sit back and wonder what might have been, as Dorito will take over from his own back line. CRR trying to continue the play. Devo coming on. Not a lot behind the shot as Oli makes the stuff. And he's 1v1 with Dorito, and Dorito actually kind of faked him out. Oli got as much as he could out of the play, but Dorito recovers and makes the save.
That was actually a really smart play again from Oli. So he goes for that initial, or it's Dorito who goes for the fake, right? And then he pulls Oli off the ball. That was successful, but Oli doesn't quit. He stays right there with Dorito so he can't immediately turn back onto the ball. That was a good heads-up play there from Oli to keep Dorito off the play, give Tho a chance at the ball instead of just giving up possession and leaving the play after you got faked out on the challenge. Now, Oli feeling good here early on. He's now made really, I think, 2 standout decisions. 2-0 for Solary, pushed it back over to the corner. Guild are still left trying to get some offense going, only 2 shots on net.
So, and Oli almost had the team play working there. Mike Boy jumped in right in front of Devo, took the demo for his efforts, but possession remains with Solary for the moment as Tho intercepts at midfield, and a big win against Devo. Mike Boy trying to win the race of that midfield boost as well. Now Oli with Tho rotating out, Mike Boy on the way in, and Dorito says no. He connects with CRR. Devo can go up for this, and another shot a little bit high that Tho sends away. Devo at times struggling on the offensive end over this weekend's RLCS action. There primarily for his defense now as Oli swatted one away from CRR. And there is Devo at the back, kind of avoiding traffic and shutting down Tho's effort.
Oh, Oli getting in the way again. Tho gonna carry this ball out. And Guild are having issues getting set up. You see Devo just kind of punching that ball downfield. Mike Boy's not gonna give that up. Dorito can't hang on to the ball in the neutral zone, and that's another goal. A 3-point passing play down the entire length of the pitch here for Solary.
Yeah, if you could give Mike Boy the secondary assist, you would. That is brilliant out of Tho. It's one that you could just kind of play towards the back wall. If it goes on target, cool. If not, he set up a teammate. Oli's got his second out of the 3 goals now for Solary. And Guild struggling early in a series again. Dorito, backboard for Devo. His shot sent away by Oli, coming back from midfield. Devo trying desperately to keep the play alive. He can't. Oli looking for the reset. No, and Devo has to jump in front of Mike Boy to prevent a 4th goal out of Solary. Still yet to see Guild get many quality looks. That was a good position for CRR, but he didn't put it on target. And Oli can just play this out with Mike Boy coming in to try and salvage it. Dorito, decoy for Devo, and Tho made the save just barely. That's Guild's best look all game.
Yeah, and that one, I mean, that one has to be in, right, for the 3v3. And now, Stacks, all I'm thinking about is the 2v2 and the 1v1. I'm a lot like Shogun, okay? I like the theory crafting of this format. I'm in love with this format. And that's another ripper for Solary. And now you're absolutely thinking about game 2. For me, Solary, it's a no question you go 2v2. I think that's the closest that they have in the matchup. You have two capable players in 1v1 with Tho and Oli. And I think Oli's been playing really well, but they went with Tho earlier for ones. I don't think that's their strong suit in this matchup, though. CRR is going to have the advantage no matter who Solary put out on the field. And so you got to rely on 2v2. I don't think it matters what composition Solary have. They can have Tho, Oli. They can have. I think Mike Boy is always going to be solid in 2v2. His approaches on challenges and his decision making is, some of the best we've seen from him in a long time. It's part of what's helped him be so successful on this Solary team. So I anticipate a 2v2 and forcing Guild to have to use 1v1 to stay alive in the tournament. We saw it happen with Juicers not going with their strong suit pick early on, and it ended up putting him in too far of a hole to come out of. So this is a really good start for Solary, a strong 3v3 start for them as Guild left scoreless.
Yeah, they shut out Guild in game 1, so we'll see if Guild does indeed go with the combination of CRR and Dorito and twos, or if they want to throw CRR for ones to start things off. And while we await that pick, we look back at the highlights from game 1. A dominant performance out of especially Tho and Oli. I mean, they were phenomenal. A hat trick for Oli, a goal and an assist out of Tho, a couple of assists out of Mike Boy as well. And indeed, CRR has called it out. Guild is going to call for a 2v2 here. Have to imagine it will be Tho and Mike Boy up against CRR and Dorito. We've already seen Oli leave, so kind of similar to the matchup with Algiri earlier on. As soon as they called 2v2, Oli was out of there. He wanted nothing to do with it. Don't blame him. Let Tho and Mike Boy take over and see if they can get up a 2-0 lead here.
I had it backwards. I was saying Solary should pick 2v2.
I wasn't going to throw you under the bus.
Because it completely changes. I don't want Guild to pick 2v2. I think they should be picking 1v1 here. You try to even up the match early on. I think 2v2 is the closest between these two teams. It's very possible that Guild win this, but they put themselves in a position, again, where you think, okay, now if you lose this, you're relying on CRR just to keep you in the series. You got smacked in the first 3v3. You couldn't generate any offense against Solary. They were all over you. And so 2v2, I think, is going to be similarly close. I do think Guild hold the edge. CRR and Dorito are a nasty duo. But look at Tho, setting up Mike Boy and Solary get their 5th goal in a row in the series.
Yeah, right now it just feels like everything is downhill towards Guild's net. 8 seconds in. And well, if you're Oli, you're happy. You just kind of get to kick your feet up and maybe just chill in free play. Watch your teammates go to work. Mike Boy bumping CRR. Tho is right there, but CRR, good individual effort on the back wall. Of course, this game critically important because while hello. We'll get to that in a moment. CRR, big drive here as everybody's just kind of clustered up. Almost looked like they're just on a stock car track, racing down the other end. And then finally, CRR just takes a shot. The defense couldn't react in time.
Tho actually got chipped by Dorito on the back wall. Tho was sitting on the back wall, and Dorito was screening across, and he completely killed all of Tho's momentum and got ahead of him on the play. I was initially looking from CRR's perspective, and I was like, why is Dorito flying across the net like that? And then I realized that it's because he literally shuffled Tho off the ball and created that little gap for CRR to shoot through. So a nice job by Dorito. Tho throwing one back on the net, but Dorito just keeps it out.
So a reminder, if you're just joining us, this is the Crew Battles format. You're wondering why you're not seeing 3v3. Why are we not seeing 3v3 Rocket League? It's the only Rocket League that exists. Trust me, it's not.
Is anyone saying that? Is anyone saying that?
I
think every time I've seen someone comment, it's like, oh, twos, this is different.
It is a 1-0 Solary lead in games right now, as Mike Boy stuffed by Dorito there. The loser of each game gets to pick the format for the next. The only time that doesn't apply is in games 1 and 3, because we can't play the same format back-to-back. So you always start with 3v3, and then game 3 is whatever format wasn't picked for game 2. So Solary up 1-0 in the series. We will get that fixed on the overlay as quickly as we can here, as CRR kind of corkscrewing his way through the air, but unable to get a shot off. Dorito will try now, but Mike Boy cuts him off. And then Dorito runs right through Tho on his way back, and an opportunity now for Guild to take their first lead of this series, as Tho slams one off his own backboard. Dorito up, drop it down for CRR for the lead.
Beautiful pass. Nice weak touch in front to CRR. Tho, he's left with 13 boost, comes down to try to recover, and then he left for the corner boost for a wide open net. Tho feeling a little boost hungry there. I can understand wanting to leave. You're thinking Mike Boy is going to come back on that play, but he was still recovering, coming back, and Tho needed to buy a little bit more time. What was he supposed to do? Look, yeah, he didn't have a lot of boost on the play, but certainly leaving the net was not the option there for Tho.
I don't know if Mike Boy intended that ball to go there, but Tho will have it. And now Dorito coming up, dances around Tho. Only Mike Boy to beat, but he's up to the task. Now Tho intercepts a pass, and CRR is not going to catch up. A giveaway taken by Tho, and we're tied.
Yep, nice punish here by Solary. See Dorito opting for a pass to nobody. CRR was still hanging around really very north of the attacking third. That was going to be an easy goal for Tho. You can't get caught positioning like that. And really, it's on Dorito to recognize his teammates' positioning and that he has to protect that ball. A pass out to middle is not going to get it done. And if you don't know, then someone's got to speak up on Guild. You just put Solary right back in the game. And to me, Stacks, this is a must-win game for Guild. If they don't win this, then they have to win the 1v1 with CRR, which I do think they're favored to. But then they have to go back to, in all likelihood, 3v3. I wouldn't even be surprised if Solary picked 2v2, but I doubt they would. 3v3, they were very dominant. And so Guild have put themselves in this position now. This is a tight game. They have to find a way to win it. You can't give Solary free goals.
Oh, the other corner that Guild would be painting themselves into, as Dorito will give them another lead in this game, is if you drop the game, you're down 0-2 in the series, and then the only way you can come back is by giving Solary the choice every single game from there on out as to what format they play. So you're never going to get a favorable matchup. You're just going to get whatever Solary would want. And
there's no big brain tactics by picking a weaker mode that you're in. You should always be picking your strongest mode against the team.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're just digging yourself a hole for no reason.
Yeah, the difference being if you win this game, then okay, whoever loses the 1v1 chooses the next format, but then you give yourself a shot at picking the format maybe for game 5, depending on how everything goes. So significantly better, obviously, not to go on to match point after 2 games. Put my John Madden cap on here, as Mike Boy is going to have to turn around. CRR trying to chase him away, and Dorito goes right through Mike Boy. Tho got the demolition. He's got to make a stop, and he does. And the player we expect to see play 1v1s for Solary coming up big in a 1v1 there.
Mike Boy winning a massive 50 as well. He's going to put it in. Oh, no, CRR got there in time. That was a great play by Mike Boy. That's what I'm saying. You always got to watch out for his 50s in particular. He's got such a good mind for it. But you know who's got great mechs? CRR. Look at this. Off the side wall. Perfect catch. Tho has to respect it. Mike Boy's the whole way back, and he got the flip reset on his wheel. Puts it perfectly in the top. I mean, that was absolutely pretty, CRR.
Gearing up for a CRR and Tho showdown in the 1v1. If this doesn't whet your appetite, I don't know what will. Mike Boy, big bump though, makes it a 1-goal game, just over a minute to go. You can't have a much better answer than this.
Oh, Mike Boy ends up side flipping as soon as he jumps into the ball. Then as soon as he sees Dorito, he side flips over him. He's able to stay with the ball and then just has the mind to just go forward, bump CRR out of the play, and keep Solary in it, because it looked like Guild were starting to run away. But now Tho's got the return and can't get the second touch. Mike Boy coming across midfield. Gonna give Solary another chance at it. They don't want to give Guild a little too much. Mike Boy gonna be safe on his rotation. Again, played away from Dorito, hoping that he can get Dorito to bite on his initial jump. so he can maybe get the edge on the 50-50. That extra dodge you have is so valuable especially in 1v1, but also in 2v2. Winning those 50s, but also just maintaining possession. That's a nice pop over CRR. He wants the bump. Mike Boy's not going to get it, but he's certainly hunting for that win.
So stuffed by Dorito with 15 seconds left. Solary's got to move. Mike Boy almost let that one get away from him. Good improv to salvage anything out of this. Pop a shot that Dorito has to send away. Tho now try to serve one up for Mike Boy, who got the boost. Tho's there on the doorstep, and Dorito sledgehammers one away. And now playing away from Tho for the second time. Guild chooses 2v2, but this time they tie the series.
I literally sucked in my breath so hard I started coughing at that drop down. I thought CRR had a chance at it. And oh my goodness, that was a really close end for Solary. What a big win for Guild. And now Solary, they have to, I mean, we got to go to 1v1 for game 3. Yep. And I do think it's going to be Tho. I think Tho has looked very solid so far. I think it's a fine pick, but CRR also looking really good behind the ball. And I think it's going to be tough for Solary here. Guild, it's a big win. Again, talking about if they lose that 2v2, I think they would really be in stretch territory. So this was a big win. The gamble pays off stacks in the 2v2.
So the players all vacate except for CRR and Tho. Not that they have to, mind you. That certainly wasn't the case with North America. We had players just kind of chilling in the lobby, watching everything go down. But it will, in fact, be CRR and Oli, actually, has stepped in.
Oli, yeah, you're right.
Instead of Tho. So maybe Oli is feeling it. He did not partake in the 2v2 last round or the 1v1. But Oli wants some of CRR. Let's see how it works out for Solary as CRR looks to give Guild the lead in this series, trying to win this little slow slog with Oli. This is not the pace you typically see 1v1s at, but Oli very patient there, winning that corner boost, winning possession, and probably winning the first goal, but CRR is there.
Good save by CRR, good patience as well. Waiting for that ball to kick away from Oli's car to jump for it. Oli gonna protect his own side. Give himself a little bit of space, winding it up again. That shot's not gonna get it done, but he'll protect the boost. Force CRR to earn the clear. CRR's waiting to see how Oli's going to approach. Oli letting him back into the zone. Nicely cleared away here by Oli, so shut down a little early on. An interesting decision to go with Oli stacks. I do think Tho was kind of getting picked on, especially on that backboard in that 2v2. So maybe Tho just didn't have the confidence in himself against CRR. Maybe they think Oli matches better against CRR, although going for that boost, I would say Oli's quite lucky CRR just didn't put that ball on net. I think Oli gets away with one, but that's a good recovery. He got a great touch out of it and sneaks it into the right side post. Oli getting the first goal.
Yeah, this is great out of Oli. That first touch brings him downfield, and CRR almost gets there. But Oli, perfect placement. Is about the only place he could put that CRR wouldn't be able to catch up. 1-0 the lead early for Oli. I agree with you, Jorby. Very interesting choice going with Oli, but he's proved to hold his own here against CRR. Really slowed things down and not letting him get out in freedom the way he'd like. As Oli, big win here, trying to pick up pennies to turn around on one. Boost steal in the corner, and then he swats CRR, but CRR is going to recover, and the shot is just wide. Oh, he's going to want that one back.
Yeah, that's two opportunities for CRR. You had one where Oli left for CRR's corner boost, where he could have shot the ball right on target, probably went up 1-0. And then that one right there, that absolutely has to be in. Oli's now giving you a couple of gaps on those breakaway lanes. If he pulls a little too far to the side, he puts himself off the ball too far, it's very easy to just shoot that ball on target, score. But ooh, CRR is really struggling against Oli right now. Oli controlling the ball really well. And that last goal he had a good recovery. Even when he gets deleted here, he wins the touch. He's going to be able to recover. I mean, early on, it's been really tight. Obviously, this can flip at any moment as CRR's got the dribble, can't get the bump, and Oli will pitch it up to the corner. Everything can switch, but Oli right now finally gets caught out, going for that corner boost. Didn't protect the edge, and CRR gets the goal.
Yeah, CRR recognizing the net is open there. Oli had done a great job previously of boost management. That time just got caught hanging around the corner. Halfway mark, One thing, though, you're not seeing very often on the top left side of your screen is that 0 for Oli. He's normally got a very high number there. He's managing his boost incredibly well, always grabbing a corner when CRR is contesting him on his half of the field, but Oli's got to get back here, and he does. And the race to that corner boost is won by CRR, so Oli's just got to throw one away. Now he's got the midfield boost, and that came out low, but CRR is ready for it. Now a quick counterattack. Oli's not going to catch up. Boost may be a bit too much of a concern as CRR is picking him apart.
I just think it was risky for Oli to go for that challenge in front of the box. There are not many ways that challenge is going to go in your favor when you are barreling towards the player that's in control of the ball or closer to the ball in front of their own box. You have to be in pristine position in the challenge because you've got to force that ball straight up. Anything that goes out or around, you're going to lose. Oli gets the goal back with a nice little move off the side wall, and CRR are going to have to try again. It's a nice kickoff win from Oli. Gets the touch. CRR, I don't think it's a bad idea to go for that 50 there right off the kickoff. You win that, you neutralize the game, you can go get boost, but he was just a little slower.
High reward there on the risk from Oli. And now a race as Oli's got a, well, I wonder if CRR kind of had the read that Oli was going to go back for his own corner boost and concede possession, and might have been surprised that he didn't. His shot there sent away by Oli. And CRR will just catch this. Round 2. CRR around him and in.
Nice flick here from CRR. Oli has to land. He's got 12 boosts picking up that small pad. That means CRR's got so much time, and Oli kind of cheats up a little bit. I don't think he expected the immediate control from CRR because he gets the catch, turns, and flicks on a dime. It was so quick from CRR from the catch to the flick. And Oli, I think he gets boost hungry sometimes. This time he wins off the kickoff. Oh, and that's been the most successful for Oli. What a move to tie the game, getting another kickoff goal.
That was so good, and then it was so bad, and then it was so good again. Oh, Oli ties it up. You know, we're so used to seeing like 8-7, 6-5 score lines. This is like watching chess while everybody else is playing checkers or some other weird game. This is just a mental game right now between Oli and CRR. This is the kind of 1v1 I absolutely love. CRR makes a save, strafe it across there. Oli threatening to turn on this, and he might have got caught, but he just gets back in time. And now watch out, CRR in a spot of trouble, as this will go to the backboard, and Oli's not going to be able to recover, but he will not concede possession, even though CRR is going to chase him down. Full tank of boost for both players. And now it's all about the mechanics and the decision-making as Oli and CRR go neutral at midfield, and Oli might finally have to give it up and play D.
Oh, Oli was waiting for the shot. This is a bad position for him, and yep, exactly. He's got the control. CRR knows he's got Oli beat. You see him leave, get that corner boost. As soon as he turns around here, CRR knows he's got his time and can just throw the ball right into Oli and then turn his car sideways, roll into it. You're going to win that 50 almost every time taking it that way. Excellent job by CRR to grab the lead with the 50 in front of the box.
You feel like maybe the next player to score 2 in a row is ultimately going to win this thing, as Oli coming through. Did not fake out CRR in the slightest. And important possession here. That's going to be won by CRR, and now he's just going to play keep away. Oli going to have to burn a lot of that boost that he just picked up in his own corner. And CRR can push this one out just a little bit. Down to 20 seconds as CRR had possession, but only briefly. Oli will have the midfield boost, but CRR will have his own. Almost the soul read there from Oli. High risk, high reward, but he's going to crash and burn here in game 3.
I think this is really what, this is kind of a microcosm of where Oli was struggling against CRR, is that he would be a little too risky, a little too aggressive in the attacking half of the field. And if you want to be that aggressive, that's fine. But you need 2 things going your way. You need the recovery, and you need available boost to be able to win it. Now, if he can score here, maybe that goes in. Okay, there's time. Oli's been most successful on the kickoff. So if you can win the kickoff, get control, this is more than possible to tie it up, Stacks.
CRR got to find a way to conserve as much boost as he can. You'd have to imagine off this kickoff so he doesn't get caught in that position again. Try and stay with this, and that's as good as it's going to get as Oli's going to run out of time. CRR puts Guild on match point, on qualification point. trying to get into the top 4.
I really think Ole could have won this game. I just think he made a couple of questionable decisions in between the goalposts, if you will, on both sides of the pitch. Too willing to leave the ball out for boosts and take himself too far out of the play, and also too willing to take risky challenges in front of the net. I think that there was some, if Ole was just a little more patient, because he had the kickoff game. Like, the kickoff game went both ways for the most part, but Ole, he found the most success on those kickoffs. I mean, most of these highlights, I think, 2 out of his 3 goals, 3 out of his 4 goals were on the kickoff. And I think that was definitely winnable for him. I think maybe he got into his own head. So it goes back into Solary's hands. I believe they have to pick 3v3. I can't imagine. Yeah, they do. Tho picks 3s. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Solary very strong, at least after that first 3v3.
So 3v3 chosen by Solary going into game number 3. And now that would make things very interesting for Guild if Solary does win. I know we're going to get way ahead of ourselves, but that's part of the beauty of this Crew Battles format, is there's so much thinking that goes on here. What does Guild go with? Because you've got that 2v2 combo of Dorito and CRR. You also just had CRR winning in the 1v1. So it would be Guild's choice in game 5 between 1s and 2s. And by the way, they won both games by exactly 1 goal. I don't actually think there's a good answer for Guild here. They almost probably have to go with 1v1s because of CRR's strength. Or, they could just take care of business right now and not have to worry about it here in our 3v3.
We'll see what Guild can do. Guild are a capable 3v3 team. Yeah, Solary beat them 4-0 in that first game. But look at CRR, that was a nasty redirect. Unfortunately, there wasn't really
Is that
hole
you?
for Devo. That was kind of nasty. Wait, hang on a second. Mike Boy's got some more, and he's been loving those bumps lately, hasn't he? Only 2 touches taken away.
So we'll have to run back. Now, this is kind of the other odd bit about this format is if you don't have a dedicated 1s in your sub spot, like some teams in the past have done. We saw that happen with a few teams in North America. You got to go quickly from playing 1s to 3s. It's one thing to go from playing 1s to playing 2s. Like, that's not as big a mental jump, but going back into that 3s rotation could be very interesting for some of these guys, as Tho will kick one out towards Mike Boy. His shot easily sent away by Dorito, and more importantly, over to his 2s partner in CRR.
I really think that varies on the player stacks. I think that some players might find 1v1 is, refreshing and maybe even more of a warm-up when you go back into your 3s matchup. It might energize some players where it might take other players a little bit more time to adapt back to it. But you're absolutely right. There is a change that happens when you go from 1s to 3s, and I do think that the player response to that is varied depending on the play style and the personality. CRR is looking pretty solid early on. It looks like that 1v1 really energized him early on as Dorito puts that ball back up. And Solary aren't having nearly as easy of a time winning those challenges. I think Mike Boy has been a great disruptor. You see him still getting those bumps. He's had good carries as well. But other than that, they've kind of been stuffed in the neutral zone. Even though the offense on either side hasn't been the greatest, that's a great save from Dorito and a good follow-up from CRR to beat Mike Boy.
Something you touched on there a moment ago, Jorby. Yeah, it's CRR and the energy he brings to this Guild roster, regardless of the format. I think it is infectious. And once he gets going, they become a much different team, a much more difficult team to stop as well. As Dorito gets around, though, it's only Ole at the back as he'll turn on the goal line and send one up and away, but only as far as Devo, who, again, a great defender all around the field. He's back behind the play this time and called into action. Quickly up to the ceiling. Got a piece of Mike Boy. Dorito's shot trying to go behind Tholi. Caught the post. And there is Devo quickly back into the rotation again. Devo seems to have sped up a lot here in this particular game now. And he's a real threat that Solary don't have an answer for. Dorito's bump on Mike Boy opens it up for CRR.
What a heads-up play from Dorito here. Comes forward. It can be so easy to take the ball, but he turns ball cam off immediately. As soon as that 50 is won, to go take out Mike Boy on the play and rely on CRR to score the goal. That was a brilliant heads-up play from Dorito. Stacks, I guarantee you 7 out of 10 RLCS players go for that. Go for the ball every single time. Not Dorito. beautiful field awareness. I'm impressed.
Only trying to get around CRR. Well, 5 out of 6 players were all in that rectangle in front. And now CRR will just have all day to play this, as everybody had to disperse and get boosted up. That favors Guild, of course, with the lead. And CRR had plenty to work with. But now here's Tho with Devo first to meet him. Underneath, there's the pinch with Oli. And CRR barely kept it out, rolling along the goal line and narrowly preserving a 1-0 lead, but for how much longer? Oli has Mike Boy across, and CRR read that like a book.
All over it on the pass. Solary have no command of the neutral zone. They're going to try again, but all they can do is pitch the ball away and hope Oli can create a splash opportunity. That's a good catch from Tho, but Mike Boy has to respect the defensive structure here of Guild. Doritos left with no boost. He needs some help. He's going to get it, but he still has to back up CRR, or does he? As Tho has to kick that ball away, and CRR is all over the place in this match for Guild. Look, he's still got control of the ball. Mike Boy has to kick it away. Dorito, he's been playing third man this whole time, just picking up some pads. Now he's got the midfield boost, and look, all he had to do was wait for CRR to get the touch in the clear.
It really is that simple. Backboard, Mike Boy got to read this, and he doesn't, but he did force all of Guild back, thinking he did have the read. And Mike Boy with a laser set away by CRR. Tho was in front trying to interfere. And now Oli racing Dorito. Got there first, but Dorito still got a piece. And now Mike Boy to Oli for the tie.
Great pass from Solary, implementing their own team play here. Look at the catch from Mike Boy. Swings off to the side and gets a perfect pass out to his teammate. And Oli, of course, is going to put that in. It's Mike Boy again, Stacks. This guy, everyone wants to talk about Oli. Everyone wants to talk about Tho. And some people giggled when Mike Boy joined this team, and they think, oh, wow, Oli and Tho both get kicked off their former teams, and they're playing with Mike Boy and winning, LOL. But it's not LOL. It's actually Mike Boy is really good at the game, and he's showing you why. His passing, excellent. His 50s, excellent. Oli and Tho pushing the ball forward, but Mike Boy, an integral piece of this Solary roster.
He was an absolute monster during the Intel World Open. A great runner-up performance. And now we go to overtime in a game that Mike Boy and the Solary squad must win, but they got to make sure they don't concede off the kickoff. It's nearly happened. Dorito was there quickly, but now Tho. Launch one downfield. CRR is there. And Dorito looking in Devo's direction, but there's nobody else to follow that up. That ball goes to Devo, and you think, okay, great. Somebody else has to be there for him to pass to. There was nobody, so Devo's just trying to buy time at that point, and which is not where you want to be on a counterattack. This bounces harmlessly, but nobody had any boost to go, and still made the save. Dorito somehow stopping that effort. Now Tho playing through, and Dorito can finally get this out beyond midfield. Guild still need boost. They've got some, as Tho will send Dorito's effort away. And I like Solary here, not wasting any time at all. Go right back at them, as Mike Boy is going to have to launch one back in. Dorito needs this challenge, and he's got it.
Solary have completely changed up the play style in overtime, where a lot of the game in regulation, you saw them, again, going for the 50s, and they've lost it! Dorito pushes it in the back, and despite the adjustments from Solary, looking like they might take it, Mike Boy going out for that corner boost. He sees CRR and Dorito kind of fuse together on his camera, and it was